Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe. That is Adam McCullough and this is Uncensored. We are sponsored by Manscaped. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But first of all, Adam, how the bloody hell are you? Been on holiday?
Yeah, man. I had to go recharge them batteries before I spent 3 weeks with you, Jay, Ethan, and Steve.
You say recharge those batteries, but you go on holiday so often that it would be the equivalent of, do you know when you leave your laptop on charge for like a week and the battery actually runs down because it's been charging so much? That's the equivalent.
Yeah,
I think you've come back less charged up.
I am very fortunate that I get to go away a lot, but this was an actual holiday that I spent, just switched off and tweeting.
Just tweeting. You can't do nothing. There's no way.
What you find is when you go on holiday, you have a lot more time for doing things like tweeting.
Tell you what I love about a holiday: the tweeting and the being bored of it all. That's my favourite bit. Isn't it good just being bored for a week? What you really need is.
I love that though. You know my favourite thing on holiday? The shit inflatable and just lying on it.
Yeah.
That's my favourite thing in the world,
Yeah. When you say, sorry,
we buy some shit inflatables for our Airbnb.
Just when you say shit inflatable and lying on it, you don't mean one of those blow-up women, do you? What do you mean? Sorry, just give me a bit more information here. What do you mean?
That's strictly for the bedroom, Joe.
Oh, sorry. A large inflatable and sitting on it. That's the bedroom version. Right, we're not going to be talking about inflatables or Adam's holidays or Adam's batteries. We're going to be talking about football, Onana. We'll talk about David De Gea because those two things are obviously quite interlinked. And I want to talk a bit about other teams improving, how we are analysing the transfer window as it stands. So let's start with Onana, a deal that looks pretty imminent. I mean, we're recording this a couple of hours in advance, so there's a chance we've here we go'd it before. But even if we haven't, it seems as though everyone agrees. Inter want to sell, United want to buy. There will be a compromise. It looks like he's going to be the next United number one. What do you make of, first of all, that we're getting a new number one? First time in 12 years we've had a new number one, and Onana himself.
Well, I think we're gonna have to really get used to it. Because it's going to be different. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. And there's going to be times where we're like, oh my God, I just need the hair to kick it out for a throw-in. There's going to be days like that, do you know what I mean? But overall, I think it's clear we have to move forward. I think when you look at the price and given the position we're in terms of, finances and being able to spend and a takeover not happening and all these kind of different things we've got to deal with, I think it's a good price for him, although could have got him free a year ago, was it?
Yeah.
Which makes it feel weird, but obviously he was incredible in the Champions League, kept a lot of clean sheets, he's worked with Ten Hag before, so it kind of ticks a lot of the different boxes, and when you look at the way he kind of evades the press and all those kind of things, oh man, it's going to be fun, but it's going to be scary, and there's going to be a few mistakes this season, and you're going to have to accept that, because in order to move on and play this progressive style of football, we're going to have to, the defenders aren't going to be as used to someone doing that, are they? Initially. Well, Lissandro would have played with him, but outside of that, no one else would have played with him. They're going to have to get used to the positions he's going to take up on the pitch. So, getting him in time, we're helped by the fact that Inter Milan, according to reports, want to get it done before their pre-season starts. So that kind of helps us, because then he should be there for the bulk of our pre-season if that's done, you know what I mean? So I think that would be a good thing as well. You want to get him in early.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's such a different way of playing out, and such a different way of, every time we start with the ball at the back, he will be involved now. I know De Gea is involved, but it's going to be a completely different way. So they literally have to learn from the ground up what it's like having a keeper who loves having the ball at his feet. Luke Shaw's never played with a keeper like that. It's going to be so different for him.
Mad. Have you seen it, Joe?
Yeah. He loves it. He's chipping the ball over strikers. He's turning. He's going into his own goal. He knocks it round, goes around the back. Yeah, I'm excited as well. I think
Sandro Martinez is back looking fresh as well. You seen him?
Yeah, with his new white hair. Lovely white hair.
He's been delighted to see Mason Mount, someone as tall as him as well.
I know. Well, speaking of Mason Mount, Steve was chatting before on Transfer Review, and he's basically, and I mean, it's not the only one to point this out, but it's worth mentioning him, that all the players we've bought and been linked with since Ten Hag came in, except I think, who would it be? Casemiro, have either played for. Actually, no, Casemiro's played against him. Played for or against Ten Hag, or has played
That's
at Ajax.
That's a stupid stat.
It's a great stat.
Because you could play anyone. Everyone's playing against everybody.
Okay, well, Eriksen came through at Ajax. Anthony and
so that's
Martinez.
kind of like forcing it. I understand if you say a lot of the players he's signed have played with him or have a past at Ajax. All right. That's cool. But to just open it up to everyone that's played against him.
Okay, right. So you're going to be annoyed at me then when I say the next point, which is some people might say Mason Mount doesn't tick that list. You think Mason Mount doesn't tick that list? Could I refer to you to the 4-4? No, the 4-4 between Chelsea and Ajax in 2019. Then try and tell me Mason Mount didn't play against Erik Ten Hag.
He played against Ten Hag for Vitesse Arnhem as well.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? So Mason Mount ticks the box. Now we've got Onana as well.
Why are we trying to tick this box? What's the point?
Because the suggestion is, Adam, that we ain't got any scouts. They've all been sacked. They've all been sort of put into a machine that's compressed them and turned them into our new manager, and it's all just Ten Hag now.
But we're going to have played against a lot of players, you know. Ten Hag going to have played against.
That's not how football
He literally
works.
plays against 16 a week.
Right. Okay.
He plays against 16 players a week. Times that by what? How many weeks in a season?
Yeah, but you have
sometimes it's 2 games. He might play against 50 players in a week sometimes. And you're shocked he's signing some of those players. Jesus. Is this Steve's research? Steve researched this.
It's not necessarily research. I think it's sort of either Dutch, Ajax, or played under him is Steve's one. I've gone one further.
I'm happy to accept Dutch or Ajax.
Yes.
Or played under him. But against him.
I've added played against him on there. Steve didn't say that.
Why are you ruining Steve's stats?
I'm not. It's called standing on the shoulders of giants. Steve comes up with a theory, like, I don't know, Galileo before him. And then I go, let me go one better, because that doesn't explain Mason Mount. That doesn't explain Casemiro.
Can we talk about Mason Mount?
Yeah, go on then.
You mentalist.
Your mate Rory must be so upset. What does he think of it all?
He's so sad. He's so sad. And it makes it better. But I actually think Mason Mount's going under the radar because, like, we need a striker, quite clearly. We need a goalkeeper, quite clearly.
Yes.
We need, like, we know we need those things, and we're probably going to need a centre-back when Maguire leaves, which, is proving difficult, as we've seen on Paddock earlier. We had we got to pay him off 10 million or something to get rid of this guy. It's mad. Yeah. And so because we need to get these players in these different positions, which I'm feeling more priorities here. People are overlooking how good of a signing Mason Mount is. Yeah. And I'm sick and tired of people going, we've got Christian Eriksen. You think when Manchester City signed Julian Alvarez, they went, oh my God, we got Erling Haaland. We need to get to a position where we've got 2 players for every position. And we're only going to get there by, buying players like Mason Mount. I think it's a fantastic signing. 24 years old, won the Champions League, won some big trophies. When he's won those trophies, he's been the player of the year for his club. All his managers love him. I think it's a very, very shrewd signing. And it enables us to rest Christian Eriksen more. It gives us an alternative for Bruno Fernandes if he needs rested. If we want to play Rashford through the middle, you can play him on the left as well. I know you got Garnacho and everything. But, I think it's a really good signing. I think it going under the radar a little bit. Yeah. And obviously the price maybe could have been cheaper with 1 year left on his deal. But imagine he had 4 years on his contract. What you'd have to pay for Mason Mount.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be looking 90, 100, wouldn't you? And also the thing with that is the price. Regardless of who United sign, how much they sign him for, there will be people that criticise it because people criticise Man United on social media. That's just some people's favourite thing to do. So there was always going to be some reason he got criticised. And if saying, we probably paid 5 million more than, would be ideal, if that's the biggest criticism people can find, I think that's the sign of a pretty good signing, to be honest. Because, it's maybe worth 50 instead of 55. Yeah, so what? I agree with you. I think it's a really good signing. And it reminds me almost of a City-style signing where they're not blowing all their money on one player. They're not putting all this pressure because someone costs 85, 90 million. They're getting a player that's an improvement over what they've got and can slot in pretty well. Like I just think, like you said, he's a really good signing, and hopefully will go under the radar so people aren't.
That's why I want us to
expecting
get
too much
like a what's his face as well. Oh, what's the Moroccan lad's name now? Slipped my mind. We were speaking about him just before. Amrabat, that's the one. I want to see us get Amrabat, like, because again, it's a £30 million signing, all right. He's a player that's blossomed at international level, done well recently for Fiorentina. And now kind of like you could polish him and potentially make him an even bigger star. And I kind of think we need to go in that direction.
Yeah.
We don't always have to sign £150 million players. Obviously, it'd be nice to sign an Mbappe or something like that. But not every signing is going to be that marquee signing, you know what I mean?
Sorry, let me just put my Deerstalker on. Let me just get my magnifying glass out and let me just inspect the situation, because a little birdie tells me that Amrabat played under Ten Hag at Utrecht. So how about stick that up your formula pipe and give me an equation? It's Ten Hag doing all of it, man. What?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Is it? Although weirdly, the one player that we signed from Ten Hag in Donny van der Beek hasn't gotten even the merest of sniffs since Ten Hag arrived, does he? That's weird. What's that all about?
Yeah. What do you think we should do with him?
He's got to go, hasn't he? It's just not worked.
In what sense?
It hasn't worked. I think we sell him.
So,
yeah.
And how much are you going to get for him now?
12 million.
I think you should send him out on loan.
Right.
To a Roma or something.
Yeah.
Because if he does well, you'll get 30 million for him.
But what if he doesn't do well? You've wasted a year of his...
He will do well.
He will.
I think...
Okay. No, that's a good point. If he will do well.
I just think dropping a level for him is the right thing to do at this moment in time.
Maybe you loan him back to Ajax.
Stink it out, is he?
No, probably not. Well, speaking of transfers, David De Gea's one that we haven't sold him. He's not really been given a send-off, but technically he doesn't play for Man United anymore. It was 7 days after his contract expired.
That's sad, man.
That's what. Yeah, give me your thoughts on that. Is it have United been disrespectful? Is it just bad planning? Is it lazy? What's going on with that?
We know David De Gea watches this channel, and I just want to say, David, thank you for everything, mate. You deserve a better send-off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does.
You're like, he's a Man United legend. There's been times where it would have been so bad if it wasn't for David De Gea.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's time for everyone to part ways. Move on.
Yeah.
He deserved a bit more respect, maybe. But I think Ten Hag's in a position as well where he probably hasn't felt like he could commit to making a decision. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. On the situation, because of, are we going to get a goalkeeper or not? It's why Dean Henderson's still knocking about. So I kind of see it from both angles. You've also got the fact De Gea kind of just left the contract offer on the table for a while, didn't he? So then the club are well within their rights to be able to go, all right, well, we're going to take that back. So I think maybe it hasn't been handled properly by anyone. And it could have been handled better, and maybe it would have been different circumstances, but he's still a club legend, man. And when you look at what we signed him for, the way he developed at the club, the goalkeeper that he became, the trophies that he's won, deserves a bit more love. I wouldn't mind seeing him come back for a testimonial.
Well, I think he would get one. When would that happen? I don't know what the protocol for that would be. It wouldn't be now, would it? It'd have to be end of the season or something.
Yeah, just later, at some point.
Yeah. Apparently, Chris Wheeler was on with us yesterday from the Mail, and he said and sort of insinuated that the sources were, crystal clear that it was Ten Hag who was the one who vetoed De Gea's contract. So the club sort of thought, we'll extend it with these sort of reduced wages. De Gea was up for it, and Ten Hag sort of went, no, we can't be doing that. And
but when did that happen?
Well, he said that he doesn't know. He couldn't say for certain if this was the catalyst, but it was around the time of the FA Cup final.
Yeah, but then it sounds like that contract's been there for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I to be honest, after the FA Cup final, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I think United should have seen this coming, really, shouldn't they? I think the problem is, if United thought that we'll put that money into a striker and we'll worry about De Gea afterwards, but now it's working out that actually this 70, 80, 90 million striker doesn't exist, we can spend 50 million on a goalkeeper. I can things unfold in a way that you don't always expect, don't they? But it does seem a shame for De Gea that I think he's the 5th longest standing player in the Premier League of all clubs, let alone at United.
But we've got to face facts, bro. It's
Go on.
over, man.
It is
he
over.
won the Golden Glove, yeah. I couldn't even put him in my top 5 Premier League goal. I couldn't even force that argument as much as I would like to put Manchester United's goalkeeper in the top 5 Premier League goalkeepers.
Yeah.
I couldn't force that argument right now.
No.
And he's got the Golden Glove, so you could even go, I don't know, he's won the Golden Glove. Of course, it's top 5. But that's not true.
No. Sad.
And Man United need to be having, if not the best goalkeeper, then one of the best goalkeepers in the league.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we need to start having some of the best players in some positions, don't we? Because at the minute, we don't have, other than left wing. Well, go on. What's happening? What's happening?
I thought Ben Stokes is out.
Right.
He's been bad. But oh my God. Ben Stokes. What a man.
I want to talk about the Ashes in just a minute, but before that, let's talk about today's sponsors,
you don't want to talk
Manscaped.
About, we're not going to talk about the Ashes again.
Talking about shaving your wicket, Manscaped are here as the greatest below-the-belt grooming solutions in the entire world. If you haven't heard already, it's smooth sack summer, Adam. None of this rough side of the ball like they do in cricket. There'll be no, sandpaper in the pocket. I'm not Steve Smith. We want it smooth, okay? And that's where Manscaped
look after
at
manscaped.com.
Look after your gangulis. Look after your, your woosnams. Actually, I think he's a golfer. But here's the thing. The Performance Package 4.0 is here to make summer for you. That includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which has the advanced skin-safe technology, a 7,000 RPM motor, and a multifunctional on-off switch. So you can lock it, so you can put it in your bag without it turning on when you're boarding the plane to go on holiday this year. You don't have to worry about all of that.
Sometimes
to say. And I actually genuinely don't know if Manscaped are going to be annoyed at me for saying this, but I left my Lawnmower 4.0 in the wrong place, and I had to trim. Okay, I went stop. I can't. It was instant. The difference was instant. I thought I cannot go back. Honestly, try it. You will not be going back to whatever you are using now. And if you aren't using anything, you are a disgrace, and you must get Manscaped immediately.
What are you doing, bro?
I mean, if you imagine.
What are you doing, bro?
Imagine if you're going on a date with just absolute Ray Mears, and it can't be happening. God. You also get the Manscaped boxers and the Shed travel bag and the Crop Preserver ball deodorant and the Crop Reviver ball toner with the Perfect Package 4.0. Try it. You will see what I will do as well, anywhere around the world. Other teams are improving. And I want to talk about that with you because the transfer window of United is not in a vacuum, is it? Arsenal have spent over 220 million quid already, which I think is putting immense pressure on Arteta to actually win something. Chelsea have got a strange situation going on where they're still buying players. They're paying off players that they've already bought. Classic Chelsea. Liverpool have got McAllister and Szoboszlai as well. City have got Kovacic and a player that you may have never heard of called Spike Brits. Have you heard of him?
Spike who?
Spike Brits, as in like the Brit Awards. Spike Brits, okay?
He's a regen and a half, isn't he?
I know. It doesn't sound right, does it? Spike
he
Brits.
doesn't exist, does he?
That's a Joe Hart
He's
regen,
another
isn't it?
one of their money laundering things, isn't he?
Have you seen that? That keeper they're selling to Burnley for 19 million quid.
Right. I guarantee they sign a deal with some company linked with City soon.
Burnley?
For 30 million pounds.
I'd not thought about that. James Trafford.
Or they receive one of those cheeky checks that are just floating about. You hear about that? They got a check.
Yeah.
It's a random 30 million check from some fella.
Oops.
That'll be us soon. Jesus Christ.
Imagine. I hope we don't. I think I was chatting to Steve the other day.
No, we don't have to do that.
That's the thing. We don't have to do that. I really hope. I just don't want us to be loophole FC. I don't want there to be any shit hanging over us all the time of lawsuits and this and that. I don't want to have to boo anthems when they start at Old Trafford. Do you know what I mean? Always in an argument and a litigation with some company or other. Let's just be a football club who happen to have rich owners. That's all I want.
I don't want to have more lawyers than players, man.
That's what I'm saying. I can't be arsed with it. Absolutely can't be arsed with it.
I'm going to have to accept it soon.
Let's start with City then. Kovacic, Spike, Brits. We can take Brits out of the situation because I'm sure you don't know anything about him. What do you make of Kovacic as a signing?
Just another one of those signings that keeps him ticking in it.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to play a whole host of games. And he's if they have to call upon him as an experienced Premier League, Champions League player. So, yeah, I think under Pep he'll be decent.
Would you say, though, that it's a downgrade on Gundogan?
Of course.
So technically they've made their team worse?
Yeah, they could probably afford that cushion.
Yeah. And if they boost
Gundogan was excellent for them, though. And it's like he might have been better in the dressing room than, you give players credit for.
Yeah.
They're possibly going to lose Bernardo Silva, Kyle Walker. These players are
Mahrez.
probably massive in that dressing room, you know what I mean? And how do you replace them? Can they replace them immediately? I think in the grand scheme of things, Pep Guardiola will be the king of the dressing room, but, it might have an impact in the short term. They've also got to go away for a Club World Cup and stuff like that. So, if they don't get things right immediately, it could be a long one for them. They could come back for the Club World Cup. Someone's opened up a cushion, like Man United, and then,
They've also signed, they look like they're going to sign...
coming and that.
They look like they're going to sign Gvardiol as well. I think this would take it to 600 million quid they've spent on centre-backs in the last 10 years. Every year he just tops up this. He bought a centre-back last year, bought one the year before, bought one the year before, bought one the year before, bought two the year before. Like, he's bought a centre-back every summer he's been there. That's like his thing, isn't it? It's obviously such an important position, but Gvardiol's what looks good, doesn't he?
Isn't someone leaving, though?
Well, Laporte might be leaving, but you're replacing someone that only starts 50% of games with the best up-and-coming centre-back in the world, apparently. Like, they're doing all right, aren't they?
Can do no wrong, innit?
Annoying. So they're doing well. Let's move on to Arsenal then, because I think that's the crucial one, because a lot of people, myself included, thought Arsenal, that might have been their chance left next year. They've gone Havertz, Rice, Timber. Roughly, you're looking at around 220, 230 million for those three. Gone absolutely massive already. What do you make of those three?
So they've gone tighter at Arsenal than he was at Chelsea, but what intrigues me is they've let go Xhaka, replacing them with Rice and Havertz, and let's say Havertz doesn't settle into this new number 8 role or what. If he again, this might not be the plan for him, but if it was,
yeah.
Or do you bring Odegaard back and let Havertz play in his place? Like, if that midfield change next to Rice doesn't go according to plan, then it could, because I think Rice is a clear improved place party, then potentially got issues, like teething issues at the very least.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. I think Timber's a good signing because he'll probably replace Holding or someone like that.
Yeah.
And you look at that, it's a net positive on your whole squad, isn't it?
Oh, the thing, I just think with those three, obviously Rice comes in and starts, different type of player, isn't he?
So do you pull Odegaard back and play Havertz further up?
But Odegaard got 15 goals last season, and that's more than...
Odegaard's a better player, I think.
Yeah.
Odegaard's a better... You'd rather Odegaard in his preferred position.
Yeah.
But then, is Havertz going to be that 8? Is he robust enough to be a Premier League 8?
I don't know.
I think he's got I think he's very good technically. And I think he'll be, he could look good in an Arsenal team if he was a rotation for Odegaard or something like that. But where's he going to play? Because you don't put Havertz in on the left ahead of Martinelli at this moment in time. Maybe we look at that, differently in the future. On the right, you don't put him in ahead of Saka. So they're probably playing Gabriel Jesus up top.
Yeah.
So Odegaard's position is guaranteed in the team. It should be 10, but if let's say it's 8, then that's still going to be an adjustment, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, I think Timber's an interesting one as well because he can play
But
right
also,
back,
they
he can play
play a
centre back.
6 and 2/8, don't they?
Well, no, well, yeah, but they've had Xhaka as a quite more defensively
Two
minded
sixes and
number
a
8 than
10.
Havertz. Yeah.
Or like
But
two
also, here's
sixes
another
and a-
thing. How have they got 21 million quid for Xhaka? He's had 7 shit seasons and 1 decent season, and they've got 21 million quid for him when he's 30. What's that? And we're like, oh, can we have 4 million quid for Fred, please? And everyone's saying no. I don't understand how they've managed that. I thought they sold him for 8 million. I saw today it was 21.4 million.
Someone needs to cough up 20 mil for Fred, man. Stop fucking around.
Fred's as good as
Bloody
Xhaka is,
hell.
honestly. I know
You know
Xhaka
what
was
our
good
problem
last year,
is?
but...
Like, it's just the wages, man.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
wages,
ridiculous,
you
isn't
know
it?
what I mean?
That is what it is. That must be what it is. Because Xhaka's had as many seasons getting booed by Arsenal fans as he had cheered by him. Like, that's
Because
just...
if Xhaka's on 100 mil, it's 100 grand a week,
Yeah.
then they'll just pay 20 mil for him and be like, alright, cool.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
pay
true.
wages, 80 grand a week. Like, yeah. We've given stupid wages to stupid players.
Well, let's move on to Liverpool then. They're the ones that have obviously challenged City the most in the last few years. They've got rid of quite a few. So obviously, start with the ins. It's McAllister for around 35 million, rising to sort of 50ish, I think, if everything in. And then they've got Szoboszlai as well from Leipzig. Got rid of loads of players. I'll go through a few that have sort of notable mentions. Naby Keita, Milner, Firmino, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Fabio Carvalho as well out on loan. Real big change in the midfield. I think Thiago looks like he might be leaving as well. There's rumours of a Saudi link with Thiago. So that whole midfield's getting completely restructured. Do you like what you're seeing there? I mean, or not like it if they're looking good.
I think McAllister's a good signing.
Mm-hmm.
Szoboszlai is like, if he discovers his form, like he looks like a tidy player in that, but is he going to make the impact that they want immediately? You've let go of a lot of experience, a lot of people that will be familiar in the dressing room. Again, like, you're going to have a period of change, but I think if they get their midfield signings right, and if they hit the ground running, I think they need a little something behind there. Because Fabinho didn't look as good last season. I'd be worried if they signed like a Caicedo or, added someone like that into the mix.
Yeah.
I don't think they will because I don't think the money's there. But if they were to add that to the signings that they've made, I think they all of a sudden look like a different team. But if those players hit the ground running, you've seen what Klopp can do with lesser players, bro.
Yeah.
It's mad.
That's
Like
true.
Klopp's the equaliser there, innit?
Yeah.
And their
If you can
front three, they've got Diaz back. You've obviously got Darwin Núñez is going to have another season behind him. Salah.
Yeah. He's getting you 25 goals, isn't he?
Plus, yeah. So they've got some, Cody Hakpo as well. So they've got some forward players there if they can get the midfield going.
Yeah. Okay, let's move
on.
on.
I don't know, like, if United get the signings right, I'm confident we can challenge anyone. Like, maybe not winning the league is a bit of a push, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
there's no reason why if we get the signage right and back Ten Hag, we can move and keep improving, keep moving in the right direction. Have a good season.
Yeah.
And who knows, like, no one would have expected Arsenal to challenge. No. And Arsenal lost it against, West Ham, Southampton. They didn't lose it playing against Man City.
No.
So I'm optimistic.
Interesting as well, I think United are improving
the
first 11 as well, which is crucial.
Sorry to cut you off there.
No, it's all right.
But if we can sign Rasmus Hojlund, Mount, Onana, you get them through the door before your outgoings. You get them in like with good enough time for pre-season. I think we could have a good season. Like, I genuinely think. Then let's say we get a deal done for Maguire. We get I don't know 35 million for him. We have to give him 10 million. You've got 25 million there. Maybe you sell McTominay and Fred. You raise another 30 odd million or something. You could then go and get your Amrabat's or another centre back. You know what I mean, or something like that. which is what I think would need to push us over the edge to get us closer to challenging City. But it's mad, like, if you're going to let Eric Bailly go for £2 million or something, just get rid of bloody Maguire, man. Just keep it. Like, what are we doing, man? You gotta get rid of Maguire.
I think he seems like the sort of player that some teams would want him. He's not like he's very rarely injured. So if you believe in how good he is and you think that his qualities are good for your team, there's no question about availability. Like, just get him in and play him.
I don't truly believe he wants to stay at Manchester United.
No, I don't.
He obviously wants to play football. It's all about his contract and paying him off. So if that happens, I think that'll be later in the window. He's going to come out on pre-season tour. He's going to drag his heels. He's going to try and get that £10 million payoff. It's as simple as that.
And in a way, I know obviously we're sat here as United.
Villa are out of the market though now because they've signed Pau Torres.
Well, that's a separate situation. But I don't really blame Maguire, to be honest. He's someone who's given this contract and wants to play. You know,
I blame United.
Sell him. Yeah,
but he needs to get the hell out of here.
Chelsea have signed Nicholas Jackson. They've signed Christopher Nkunku. They've got
sorry, Miss Jackson.
Sorry, Nick Jackson.
Do you know who Miss Jackson's about?
Michael Jackson's mum.
No, Erica Badu. Badu's mum.
Is it?
Erica Badu's mum. Yeah.
It's not, is it?
It is, man.
Is it actually?
Yes, man.
So where's the Jackson then?
It's like, obviously he didn't use their real name. He
pseudonym. Yeah, pseudonym. A lovely little pseudonym. Just a couple of others then. Oh, go on
Let
then.
me make sure I've told you the right thing. Yeah. Meet the real Miss Jackson, Erica Badu's mother.
Well, we've spoken a bit before about who the song Toxic's written about, haven't we? Do you know the Britney Spears one?
You?
No, not me. It's
Harry Maguire?
Rumour is that it was written about the Irish super vet Noel Fitzpatrick. Do you know the guy I mean? Who will he'll glue a Hewlett-Packard printer to a dog and call that an improvement. He's that kind of kid. You know, he's a super vet.
Is that art? Is it?
It's not considered art. No, he's a vet. He's a functioning, living vet. He makes dogs work.
Ooh.
Wicket piece.
Nope.
Right, cool. Right, let's move on then. Newcastle, Tonali, bothered? Do you care? Are they going to be able to hold on to top four?
He doesn't care. Have you seen his face in every picture? He looks depressed as hell. He's like, what am I doing here?
The 10% signing on fee wasn't worth it. Spurs, Kulusevski,
He's going to be
Maddison,
back.
Vicario.
Sandro Tonali is going to be playing for AC Milan on loan in about a year or two.
Yeah, he's going full
Inter
Lukaku,
Milan.
isn't
AC Milan. Yeah, he's going full Lukaku.
Maddison to Spurs. They've also got the new
Great
manager
signing.
as well. Do you like that?
Maddison's a great signing. Yeah. Gone under the radar a little bit because he's kind of maybe Leicester going down, all those kind of things, but he's a very talented player. I remember there was times we were talking about would you take Grealish or Maddison, and I was edging Grealish, but I would still take a Maddison. Like, he's a very good player.
I think when someone
Obviously,
gets relegated,
Bruno, we won.
Yeah, we did. Ange Postecoglou.
I don't think Spurs will get top four, but I think Spurs will make their fans love them again with Ange Postecoglou.
They need that, don't they? They need someone likeable in the dugout.
They're going to feel whole again.
And finally, actually, no, we've covered everyone there. Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea. Chelsea.
Man United.
What about Man United?
Going to win the league, Joe.
Going to win the league. We're absolutely going to win the league. Right, I think that's going to be all from us on that note. United are going to win the league. Adam McCullough said it first. He's distracted by the cricket, but you know what? You've put in a really good shift there, Adam. So, you know, the holidays worked. Successful.
Also, Cricket World Cup's coming up soon in India. Like, let's go, man. Like, Cricket World Cup people, holler me, man.
I'm up for that. I'd love to go to India and watch the Cricket World Cup.
Me and him will go out there.
Oh, should we go?
Let's go.
How much is a flight to India? Is it ludicrously expensive?
Depends when you go. I was looking to go Goa in January.
Yeah.
It's all right. You can get some cheap, like, £400 or £500 flights if you're looking at the right times.
Not too bad.
But if you're going for the World Cup, probably going to be a bit more dear. But, we can make a holiday out of it.
Yeah.
Someone just holler me. I'll present whatever you want.
Yeah. Just do it. You'll open the batting if they want you to, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You're that desperate to
I'm
be
good
there.
at batting. Last time I batted, I was pretty good. Yeah, 11. I didn't want to play cricket. Like, I was just a good batsman. Like, I couldn't really bowl. And I didn't like fielding because I was just standing around for ages. So my PE teacher just let me just bat and do one.
What, like Ledley King? No training, no practice, just turn up for the bit you want to do.
Yeah, I'm a good batsman.
I'm not fielding. It's boring. I won't be doing it. I want to wear the big hat and I want to go home. They're the two things I want. You got to do it.
Player hours.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, can we have Adam on our team? No
He's
chance.
absolutely twatty. Usman Khawaja's good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's so hard to get rid of, isn't
I
he?
like him. Yeah,
He's like a red wine stain on a rug. You just cannot get rid of the bastard. Right, that's going to be all from us. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring the show. Thank you to Adam for coming on. I'll see you, hopefully, next week. I think pretty much in it when we go away. It's going to be very exciting. All this tour content coming up, of course, as we go round.
We've got loads going on as well. Please follow us on Threads, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Subscribe on the YouTube. Because we got so much coming up, man. It's going to be amazing.
We've got some
we're gonna
massive
have,
news.
If you're out in the United States of America on the pre-season tour, or you're going to be in Dublin for the game in August, keep your eyes and ears peeled.
Exactly. Right. We'll see you in a bit.